Hey there, friend. I want to talk to you today about something that might surprise you. What you keep in your medicine cabinet could be silently shortening your life. I remember sitting down with my neighbor, Ruth, who's 74 and always been careful with her health. She told me she takes a few over-the-counter pills daily, something for heartburn, something for sleep, and a painkiller for her joints. They're safe, she said. They've been around forever. But here's the truth. Not all OTC medications are safe for seniors, especially after 70. In fact, some of the most commonly used ones have been linked to serious health risks, including higher mortality rates, especially when taken long-term or in combination with other medications. That's right, some drugs you might reach for without a second thought, because they're labeled safe or natural, can actually increase your risk of falls, confusion, heart issues, and even early death. In this video, we'll go over 4 over-the-counter medications that seniors over 70 should avoid based on medical research and expert warnings. More importantly, I'll show you what to do instead to manage common issues like pain, sleep trouble, and digestion without risking your health. Let's dive in. The first medication, and this one might sound harmless, is diphenhydramine, the active ingredient in over-the-counter sleep aids like Benadryl and Nitol. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Benadryl? That's just an allergy pill. And yes, it was originally meant for allergies, but over the years, many seniors have started taking it regularly to help with sleep. Here's the problem. Diphenhydramine is an antihistamine, and while it can make you drowsy, it also has anticholinergic effects, meaning it blocks certain brain chemicals. For younger people, that's usually fine, but for seniors, it can lead to confusion, memory loss, and even an increased risk of dementia with long-term use. One woman I spoke to told me she used to take Benadryl every night to fall asleep. She said it worked at first, but after a year I started forgetting things, where I put my keys, names of people I knew well. My doctor finally told me it might be the medication. So what can you do instead? Try natural sleep aids like melatonin in low doses, magnesium supplements, or even simple bedtime routines like reading, sipping herbal tea, or doing deep breathing exercises. These options support your body without the same risks. Now, moving on to the second medication, and this one is used by millions of seniors daily, non-aspirin NSAIDs like ibuprofen and naproxen. Yes, these are the go-to for joint pain, headaches, or muscle aches. But here's what many people don't realize. Long-term use of NSAIDs, even at recommended doses, has been linked to increased risks of heart attack, stroke, and kidney failure, especially in older adults. You see, as we age, our kidneys and cardiovascular system become more sensitive. And NSAIDs, when taken regularly, can cause fluid retention, elevate blood pressure, and strain the heart over time. Let me share a quick story. A man named George I met at a wellness fair told me he'd been taking ibuprofen daily for knee pain for over 5 years. He thought it was safe because it was OTC. But after his doctor ran some tests, he discovered his kidney function was declining. He said, "I didn't know it could do that." So what's the alternative? Try acetaminophen in moderation, or better yet, explore non-drug pain relief methods like gentle stretching, heat therapy, or physical therapy. If you must take something, talk to your doctor about safer options or lower doses. Now, before we continue, let me quickly recap what we've covered so far. We started by looking at diphenhydramine, the ingredient in OTC sleep aids that may harm brain health. Then we discussed NSAIDs like ibuprofen, which can strain the heart and kidneys over time. Both of these medications are widely used and often assumed to be safe, yet they carry hidden risks for seniors. In the next part, we'll cover 2 more OTC drugs you should avoid after 70, and I'll show you how to protect your health while still managing everyday discomforts. Because the goal isn't to scare you, it's to empower you with knowledge so you can make safer choices for your body. So stick with me, we've got more to cover.
All right, friend. In the last part, we talked about 2 over-the-counter medications that can pose serious risks for seniors: diphenhydramine, found in sleep aids like Benadryl, and NSAIDs like ibuprofen. And I hope you're starting to see how even medications labeled safe can have hidden dangers as we age. Now let's move on to the third medication, and this one might surprise you. It's proton pump inhibitors, or PPIs, like omeprazole or Prilosec. Yes, these are the go-to pills for heartburn, acid reflux, or indigestion. But here's what many seniors don't realize. Long-term use of PPIs has been linked to higher risks of kidney disease, bone fractures, and even early death in older adults. You see, PPIs work by reducing stomach acid, which helps with digestive discomfort. But stomach acid isn't just there to cause pain. It plays a role in absorbing vital nutrients like calcium, magnesium, and vitamin B12. When you suppress acid for too long, you can end up with deficiencies that weaken bones and impair nerve function. Let me tell you about a woman named Helen I met at a wellness fair. She'd been taking omeprazole every day for years to manage her acid reflux. But over time, she started feeling weak and noticed her memory wasn't as sharp. After a blood test, her doctor discovered low magnesium and early signs of kidney strain. She told me, "I didn't know my stomach pills could affect my bones and kidneys." So what can you do instead? If you rely on PPIs regularly, talk to your doctor about tapering off or switching to safer alternatives like H2 blockers, like famotidine, or lifestyle changes, such as eating smaller meals, avoiding late-night snacks, and elevating your head while sleeping. Even simple dietary shifts, like cutting back on spicy or acidic foods, can reduce the need for medication. Now, moving on to the fourth and final medication, and this one might sound natural, but can still be risky. Herbal supplements with anticoagulant effects, like ginkgo biloba, garlic extract, or high-dose fish oil. I know what you might be thinking. Herbal means it's safe, right? Not necessarily. Many seniors take supplements like ginkgo biloba to boost memory or garlic pills for heart health. But here's the catch. These supplements can thin the blood, and when combined with prescription blood thinners like warfarin or aspirin, they increase the risk of dangerous bleeding, especially in older adults whose bodies may already struggle with clotting. One man I spoke to told me he took high-dose fish oil every day to support his heart. But during a minor fall, he ended up with a severe bruise that took weeks to heal. His doctor traced it back to the blood-thinning effects of his supplements. He said, "I thought I was doing something good, but I didn't realize the interaction with my other meds." So what's the solution? Always inform your doctor about any supplements you're taking, even if they're labeled natural. And if you're already on blood thinners, avoid high-dose blood-thinning supplements unless specifically approved by your healthcare provider. Now, before we wrap up in the final part, let me quickly recap what we've covered so far. We started by looking at diphenhydramine, the ingredient in OTC sleep aids that may harm brain health. Then we discussed NSAIDs like ibuprofen, which can strain the heart and kidneys over time. Next, we explored PPIs like omeprazole, which may lead to nutrient deficiencies and kidney issues. And finally, we touched on herbal supplements with blood-thinning properties, which can be dangerous when combined with other medications. Each of these medications is widely used and often assumed safe, but they carry hidden risks for seniors over 70. In the next and final part, we'll wrap things up by summarizing the key takeaways and offering practical steps you can take today to protect your health while still managing everyday discomforts. Because the goal isn't to scare you, it's to empower you with knowledge so you can make safer choices for your body. So stick with me, we're almost there.
All right, friend. We've already covered 4 over-the-counter medications that carry hidden risks for seniors over 70. Diphenhydramine, found in sleep aids, NSAIDs like ibuprofen, proton pump inhibitors like omeprazole, and certain herbal supplements with blood-thinning effects. And I hope you're starting to see how even medications labeled safe or natural can have serious consequences as we age. Now let's take a moment to look at the bigger picture. These medications might offer short-term relief, but when used long-term, they can silently compromise our health in ways we might not even notice until it's too late. The good news is, you don't need to keep taking these to manage everyday discomforts. There are safer, more effective alternatives that support your body rather than work against it. Let me quickly recap what we've learned in a way that feels natural and empowering. We started by looking at diphenhydramine,
the ingredient in OTC sleep aids like Benadryl. While it might help you fall asleep, long-term use has been linked to cognitive decline and even dementia risk. As a safer alternative, we discussed natural sleep support like melatonin, magnesium, and simple bedtime routines that help your body relax without medication. Then, we talked about NSAIDs like ibuprofen and naproxen, which are often used for joint pain or headaches. But studies show long-term use increases risks of heart attack, stroke, and kidney failure in seniors. As better options, we explored acetaminophen in moderation, along with non-drug pain relief methods like gentle stretching, heat therapy, or physical therapy. Next, we discussed proton pump inhibitors, or PPIs, like omeprazole and Prilosec, commonly used for heartburn or acid reflux. But prolonged use can lead to nutrient deficiencies, weakened bones, and kidney strain. Instead, we looked at safer alternatives like H2 blockers and lifestyle changes, like eating smaller meals, avoiding late-night snacks, and adjusting diet to reduce stomach issues. And finally, we touched on herbal supplements with blood-thinning properties like ginkgo biloba and high-dose fish oil. While these may seem harmless, they can dangerously interact with prescription blood thinners and increase bleeding risk, especially after falls or injuries. The solution? Always inform your doctor about any supplements you're taking, even if they're labeled natural. And if you're already on blood thinners, avoid high-dose anticoagulant supplements unless specifically approved by your healthcare provider. Now, I want to leave you with something important. You don't have to make drastic changes overnight to protect your health. In fact, small steps taken consistently can make the biggest difference over time. Start by looking at your medicine cabinet. What are you currently taking? If you're using any of these medications daily, consider talking to your doctor about safer alternatives. Don't be afraid to ask questions. You have every right to understand what you're putting into your body and how it affects your long-term health. One man I spoke to, George, had been taking ibuprofen for years before realizing the toll it was taking on his kidneys. After switching to a combination of gentle movement, heat therapy, and occasional acetaminophen, he said he felt better, not just physically, but mentally. He said, "I stopped worrying about what I was doing to my body, and that peace of mind made a world of difference." That's what this is all about. Taking control of your health in a way that makes you feel stronger, more informed, and more empowered. So here's what I encourage you to do. Start by reviewing your current medications and supplements. Make a note of anything you take regularly, especially the 4 we've discussed. Share this list with your doctor or pharmacist and ask about safer alternatives. Don't be afraid to ask questions. You have every right to understand what you're putting into your body and how it affects your long-term health. Try one natural alternative, whether it's a new bedtime habit, a dietary change, or a gentler form of pain relief, because the goal isn't to deprive yourself, it's to protect yourself. And remember, you deserve to enjoy your later years with clarity, strength, and peace of mind. That means being thoughtful about what you put into your body and making choices that support your long-term well-being. If you found this helpful, and I hope you did, I'd love for you to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss another tip to help you live your best life after 60. And if you've already made changes to your medication routine and noticed a difference in how you feel, I'd love to hear about it. Drop a comment below and share your experience. Your story could inspire someone else to take that first step towards better health. Because the truth is, it's never too late to start taking care of yourself. Small changes really do make big results, and you're worth every effort. Thank you so much for being here today. Take care of yourself, stay curious, and keep making choices that honor your body, your mind, and your happiness. Until next time, stay strong, stay informed, and live your best life.